All right, well, here we are. We're gonna work on Scratch today. And so you'll need to open up a Scratch tab. You're gonna go to scratch.mit.edu if you don't already have a tab open. If you do already have your tab open, then what you'll need to do is you'll need to see that your name is signed in over here at the top upper right corner. Mine says Green Dragon's Code. Yours should say your name. If it says sign in, guess what? You need to sign in. And then the swirly arrow up in the browser bar, I want you to make sure you tap that to make sure that you actually are signed in. Because sometimes a tab will say you're signed in, but you're really not. And then you go to save your work and it's missing. So tap the green swirly arrow and see how it just sort of double check that I'm signed in. So you should know your sign-in name. If you don't, you can hop on the Google Meet in the morning. I will be available and I can help you with your username. And your lunch pin or your iPad pin is your login. So you should know all that, but in case you don't, that I'm reminding you. So today we're going to move on to our third studio, which is conditionals. And a conditional is an if-then statement. So for example, if it's snowing, then there's a whole host of things that will have to happen if it's snowing. I'll have to shovel, I have to put my boots on, I'll have to make sure I wear a coat. If I'm hungry, then I'll eat my lunch. And if I'm not hungry, then I won't eat my lunch, right? So those are if-then statements. And then we're also going to use the sensing blocks, which let you know, like it's a way of letting you know that something happens if one thing is touching another. So we're going to go into, you're going to touch your name, and yours will say my class. Mine says my classes, because I have a couple of classes. So you're going to go to my class, and on yours, you're going to have the bottom, you're going to have all these studios listed here. And we did parallelism, and we did forever loops. So parallelism is when you had two programs running at once. Forever loops was doing the animations. So conditionals, that's where we are now. And you should see there's this game, the Sharky game. And so the way the Sharky game works is when I touch the flag to start it, I use my finger and I can catch this. I don't think you can hear the chomping. Let me turn the volume up. It makes a chomping sound. I don't know why you can't hear it when I'm recording. So it makes a chomping sound. So it's a game like this where you're catching the shark's catching the fish. So what else is happening when I move my finger move to fish? He's doing a quick costume change. You can see he chomps on the fish and the fish moves to another location. So if we look at the coding, we touch see inside, you can see that I'm going to touch stop so he stops moving around. So this one here, when the flag is clicked, if and it's in a forever loop, if something is a distance from the mouse pointer, the fish, then and it points towards the mouse pointer then. So that's how it moves around. And then there's another parallel code. When it's clicked, if it's touching the fish, you're going to switch the costume to Shark A and start the sound and wait 4 seconds. That means that we can see the costume change. If not, just change the costume to Shark B. And then the fish, when it's clicked, if it's touching the shark, it goes to a random position. All right. So the easiest way, and your job today is to build your own Chomp game. And I really don't want you to do a remix for this. This one I really want you to try and write the code yourself. Because if you're remixing it, all you're really going to have to do is you're going to change the sprites and the backgrounds. And you're really not learning about if-then codes. So the easiest way to do this is to have two Scratch tabs open. So you can see I've got this Scratch tab, but then I've got another one open here and with a new project. So I made this new project by touching Create up in the corner. So I'm going to give it a name. So up in this box up at the top, I'm going to call it Isley Chomp. All right, and then I have to decide on my sprites. I don't really want to, well, I could just use the cat. You can use whatever you want. I'm going to use the cat, and he's going to play with a basketball. Oh, maybe a beach ball. I changed my mind. He's going to play with a beach ball. And every time, I want it to be every time, oh, he's got to be somewhere, right? Even though it's snowing out, we don't want him in a blizzard. So it makes sense for him to be at the beach if he's playing with a beach ball. So I've got the cat at the beach, and I need to do some coding. So I know I have to have an event, so I'm going to move the flag here. And I know I'm going to need a forever loop, so I'm going to go to the control. So I need a forever loop, and then I'm going to need an if-then. So let's see. So if the cat touches the ball, I want the ball to go to so if the cat touches the ball, so I need this sensing. So here's my sensing block, and I know that this match has to go in here. It's a hexagon, goes inside the hexagon. Oops. And I don't want it if it's touching the mouse pointer. I want, if it's touching the sprite, I want it to go to a random position. So I need my motion, go to random position. So now I can just, if he touches the ball, it goes to a random position, right? That works out pretty well. That's the most basic way. I wanted the cat to look like he's moving. So I have to go back to my events. Sprite is clicked. And I can go back and forth. If I want to make it like this one, I can say, oh, I want the cat to be just like the shark. So I want him to change positions. This one here is going to help him change costumes to make it look like he's moving. So you're going to go in, you're going to go into this conditional studio in your class. You can look at this and play around with this and try and figure out all the coding does. And then you're going to open up a second tab and you're going to make your project. And remember, when you're all done, you have to click Save Now. So I touch Save. And then if I touch Share, I can get this Add to Studio button. So I can add it to our conditional studio, and then others can see your work too. All right. So that's your assignment for today, is to make a Chomp game. And if you didn't finish your tour, that would be something else to work on today. Yeah. So I can't wait to see what you come up with. Have a good